There are about 1,500 active volcanoes in the world today. And when they start to erupt, some of them can produce very loud sounds.
Watch out for the shock, it's coming.
In Southeast Asia, there are hundreds of volcanoes sprinkled along the Ring of Fire, running beyond the north of Japan and all the way to the south of New Zealand. This is a densely populated region with many mega cities and high-traffic airports. And some of them are located within 300 kilometers of active volcanoes. The exposure of these airports to volcanic ash is very significant. Flying aircraft and air control systems are vulnerable to volcanic ash. Which can lower the visibility and damage the jet engines. Even Singapore, located in an area considered to be safe from natural hazards, is not so far from Mount Merapi and only 830 kilometers away from Krakatau, barely a 1.5-hour flight. This island volcano claimed over 40,000 lives in 1883. And the sound of the eruption was heard thousands of kilometers away.
The last time we had volcanic ashes on the ground in Singapore was in June 1991, a couple of days after the eruption of Pinatubo volcano in the Philippines, 2,500 kilometers away. Big eruption in the Philippines, volcanic ashes here on the ground in Singapore. Well, it's just a dusty layer. But this dusty layer could have a huge impact on modern infrastructures. If this ocean is big enough, it can send volcanic ashes high in the atmosphere, and this ash can be transported by the winds all around the globe. And here, especially in Singapore, is really important because Changi Airport is one of the big hubs in the region, as is Kuala Lumpur, Jakarta, and many other airports in the region.
So the question is, how can these highly populated cities with high-traffic airports receive early warning of volcanic eruptions, just as these are getting started? Scientists at the Earth Observatory of Singapore are recording the infrasound created by volcanoes in the region to detect and measure eruptions as they unfold.
The volcano is erupting, and we want to know how big is this eruption remotely.
Humans can hear sounds between the frequencies of 20 and 20,000 hertz. But infrasound exists at frequencies lower than what humans can hear, between 20 and 0.001 hertz. The scientific team has installed 5 infrasound stations in a major natural reserve, right in the middle of the city.
What we're looking at here, what we have installed here in the jungle of Singapore, in the National Park of Singapore, is the state-of-the-art in terms of infrasound sensors.
This entire setup is powered with solar panels. The solar panels are connected to a controller inside a box that protects the instruments. With sunny weather and clear skies, the batteries charged with solar power can run the instruments for several months. The system senses the infrasound with a microbarometer that measures atmospheric pressure. And the digitized sound is sent by mobile phone to the computers at the research lab.
The instrument that we have, as I told you, is extremely sensitive. If there's a little draft, if you blow on it, it will record it. And we don't want that. That's why we're in the middle of the forest here, and that will already kill the high-frequency noise that comes from the wind. The final plastic pipe into a bucket kills the little draft that you might have. And in order to reduce this ambient noise to the minimum, that's the best solution. Plastic pipe into a bucket.
Sound travels at a speed of about 340 meters per second, which is about 20 kilometers in 1 minute, or about 1,200 kilometers in 1 hour. So it would take less than 1 hour for the infrasound waves to reach Singapore from volcanoes that are located within 1,000 kilometers.
So why Singapore? If you sit in Singapore and you look at the volcanoes in the region, you have a clear azimuth, a clear direction to this volcano from here. And those instruments actually work just like your ears. They will try to find from where the sound is coming from. And from here, we have a really nice coverage for Sumatra, especially Sumatra, but as well Java and the Philippines. So that's why Singapore is actually a really good position to install these kind of instruments for the region.
Monitoring volcanic infrasound in Southeast Asia will eventually contribute to the safety and efficiency of civil aviation in the region.